Good morning, Year 4. I hope you're well. Welcome to today's math lesson. Today you are going to be looking at fractions of a set of objects. Now before we start that, you have your daily fluency questions. Can you please spend no more than 3 minutes answering the following questions, please? Pause the video and have a go. Okay, how did you do? What is the sum of 2/7, 3/7 and 4/7? We are adding them all together, so that gives us 9/7. Number 2, complete the equivalent fractions. We can see, how do we get from 4 to 12? What do we have to multiply it by? We have to multiply it by 3, which means to find the denominator of the first fraction, we have to divide 27 by 3, so 21 by 3, which gives us 7. Finally then, find 1/3 of 27. The answer is 9, because 27 divided by 3 is 9. Let's have a look at some questions ready for today's learning then. What I would like you to do is pause the video here. Can you set a timer for 5 minutes and answer the following questions, please? Pause the video and have a go. Okay, so you could have used any objects to represent 12 divided by 4, but I chose to use counters. Now I could have chosen to lay my 12 counters out and then split them into groups of 4, giving me 3 groups. Alternatively, I could have chosen to have 4 groups and then split my counters in each of the 4 groups, giving me 3 counters in each group. Number 2, 6 divided by 3 is 2, so 60 divided by 3 is 20. Number 3, drawing place value counters to divide 72 by 3. We know we need 7 tens and 2 ones to make the number 72. We're dividing by 3, so we need our 3 groups. We can use 6 of our tens to fill 2 tens per group, so which means what do we need to exchange that 10 for? That's right, we need to exchange it for 10 ones. So we now have 12 ones to split equally between our 3 boxes. So 72 divided by 3 is 24. Finally then, we can see that this bar represents 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 altogether. That represents 1/6. This one represents 1/4 because 1 is shaded, there are 4 parts. This one represents 1/2 because there is 1 shaded, and this one is 1/3. So you can see, like so, the answers are here. And well done if you got all of those correct. Super job. Let's have a look at today's learning then. So we are looking at fractions of a set of objects. So here, Eva has 12 toy cars. 1/4 of the cars are red. We want to know how many red cars there are. Now we're thinking of this whole number. There are 12 toy cars altogether. I can represent my toy cars using 12 counters. So I want you to imagine these counters are my cars. Now we want to find 1/4 of the cars. And what we can do is we can look at this denominator. My denominator is 4, which tells me that I need 4 groups. So I am splitting my 12 cars amongst 4 groups. So I can begin to put 1 place value counter in each box and then proceed to place 1 place value counter in the other box and until they are all used up. Now I'm thinking of my numerator. I am looking for 1 out of these 4 quarters. And 1/4 is 1 of the 4 that we have all together. So 1/4 is just 1 here, shaded like that. And we can see that in this quarter, there are 3 counters, which means there are 3 red cars. Can you have a go at this question here? Eva has got 12 toy cars again, but this time 1/3 of the cars are blue. How many blue cars are there? Think about how many boxes you're going to need and how many cars you're going to need. Pause the video and have a think. How did you get on? Let's start with our 12 toy cars because that is our whole number. We have 12 all together. Now 1/3 of these cars are blue. We are not looking at 1/4 anymore, we are looking at 1/3. Now because my denominator is 3, how many groups am I going to need this time? That's right, I'm going to need 3 groups. And I can start to partition and give out my toy cars equally between my 3 groups. And I can see that I am only looking for 1 of these 3 groups and that is shaded here, giving me 4 blue cars. Well done if you got that right. Let's look at one more example together, and then you're going to be on to your first task of the math lesson. So again, Eva has 12 toy cars, but this time 1/6 of the cars are silver. We want to know how many silver cars there are. And this time we know she's still got 12 toy cars, but how many groups is she going to need now? That's right, she's going to need 6 groups. Her denominator is 6. Just like when we look at our bar model at our fractions, if we're looking for 1/5, we split our bar into fifths, don't we? So this is why we split our boxes into 6. And we're going to look at the bar model to help us now, because we're getting more groups. And we know that all of our bar model represents 12. Now we want to split our 12 into 6. So we're going to put 1 counter or toy car into each box until we fill them up. And how many counters do we have in each part of the bar? That's right, we have 2 counters in each part of the bar. And we could represent that in its digit form. So all of these boxes are worth 2. And we can see here that we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And that equals my whole amount. Now how many 6s am I looking for this time? I'm looking for 1. This looks really familiar though. This looks like the bar model that we were using for our fractions, and it absolutely is. 1/6 would be how many boxes shaded? 1. So 1/6 would be 2 silver cars. Can you please have a go at questions 1 to 4 on the worksheet? Pause the video now and have a go. How did you get on? I bet you were fantastic. Let's have a look at some more questions, more problem-solving questions. There are 84 children in the hall. 1/2 of the children are girls. How many girls are there? Tiny thinks that we can use counters to find this out, because we know there are 84 children, so we could go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that would take a really long time. If we were counting out all of these counters up to 84, that would take so long. What else could we use to help us? That's right, we could use base 10 to help us. So we could represent 84 using 8 10s and 4 1s. And we can see really clearly now that we have got 8 10s represented by my yellow base 10 and 4 1s represented by my red cubes. Now if we know that half of the children are girls, how many parts are we going to have? That's right, we're going to have 2 parts, and we can use our bar model to help us now. Rather than putting them into groups, let's use the bar model. We know the whole amount for this bar model is 84. We are finding 2 groups. What's the next step we can do? We're going to put our 10s in there first. Just like we do when we divide, we always start with the biggest value, and 10 is our biggest value. So we can start by putting 4 10s in each part, and we've used all the 10s now. We don't need to make any exchanges for 1s. And then we can put the red 1s so that there are 2 per box. Now we're only looking for 1/2, so we are only looking for 1 part of this bar model, and we can use our digits to count that this is 10, 20, 30, 40, so 4 10s and 2 1s, which is 42. And because we're looking for 1 part, there are 42 girls. I would like you to have a go at this question here. There are 84 people at a concert. 1/6 of the people are adults. How many adults are there? Pause the video, have a think. How did you get on? Did you think of a different concrete material that we could use to work this out? How about using place value counters? So we know there are 84 people at a concert. So we can use that by representing 84 as 8 10s and 4 1s, just like we did with the base 10, but we can use the place value counters now. We know that 1/6 of the people are adults. So how many groups am I going to have in my bar model? That's right, I'm going to have 6 groups, and I can see that I have made my bar here. What is the whole value of my bar? Yes, 84. And we're going to start with our 10s or our 1s? Well done, we're going to start with our 10s. We can start by putting 1 10 in each of our parts. We know that we're left with 2 10s remaining. Can we put them into the following boxes? No, we can't. It wouldn't be equal, would it? So what are we going to swap those two 10s for? Absolutely, swap them for 20 ones, or maybe, there we are, 20 ones. So we now have 24 ones to split between 6 groups. We know that 24, well, 6 goes into 24, how many times? 6, 12, 18, 24. 4 times. So there's going to be 4 ones in each part. Now we know that we can turn these into digits. How many? What is the number, the value in each part? That's where we have 1 10 and 4 ones, which is 14. And we're looking for 1 6, so that is one part, so there are 14 adults. Can you know how to go at questions 5 to 7 on the worksheet, please? Pause the video here and have a go. Okay, year 4, your final part of today's lesson then is a bit of a problem-solving question. 1/3 of something equals 23. 1/3 of what equals 23? Can you pause the video and have a think for me, please? How did you get on? Was that quite tricky? Let me show you and you will probably think, oh, I would have known that. So 1/3 of something equals 23. We know that we are looking for a third. So how many groups, how many parts to our bar model are we going to need? That's right, we're going to need 3 parts. Now we know that actually we are only looking for 1 part. So we can shade in one of those parts. And we are not quite sure on what the whole number is yet. So we can identify that the whole of the bar model is going to equal something, but we can put a question mark there because we're not quite sure what it is yet. But what we do have is our answer. Our answer is 23. So that means 1/3 of this number is 23. So 1/3 is 23 here. Now if we know that 1/3 is 23 and all my boxes are equal, then what's this number going to be? And what's this number going to be? That's right, they're going to be all 23. And look, as if by magic, we can work out what the whole number is by adding. We can either do repeated addition, 23, add 23, add 23, or what else could we do? That's right, we could do 23 multiplied by 3. And if you're not sure what that is, you can do 2 multiplied by 3, which is 6. So 20 multiplied by 3 would be 60, and 3 multiplied by 3 is 9. So 23 multiplied by 3 is 69. So 1/3 of 69 is 23. Can you see how we work backwards to find that answer? Brilliant. Okay, can you now have a go at the rest of the questions on the worksheet, please? Fantastic work today, year 4. You have got 2 questions now. The first one is a really big problem-solving question. You have to work through each part individually. So she starts with 12, she ate 1/4 and she gave 1 to her mum. So what is she on now? Then she ate half of what she had here and gave 1 to her brother. How many has she got now? Then she ate 1/3. How many has she got now? So work it step by step. This question here is optional. You do not have to do it, but if you fancy a challenge, then you can have a go. So you've got to work out 1/3 of 60 first, write the answer there, and that's equivalent to 1/4 of what? So they must both equal the same. Similarly with this one too. You have done some brilliant listening today. I'm so excited to see what you come up with your work today and to see how well you do on the problem solving question. Have a fantastic day, year 4, and I will see you in our next lesson. Goodbye.